Cortez D. Sims, and I just want to give a quick Thursday thought while there's some sunshine in some cities and some gloom in some cities and some snow in some cities and some some warmth in some areas. But everywhere that this video finds you, I am just delighted to be able to speak a Thursday thought that I thought that was more of a question more than anything that can provoke a thought. And I just want to know, based upon your experience, if you're able to chime in, and maybe a couple people will come online and kind of join me as an audience here. I just raised a question like, do people want your honesty versus your truth? You know, a lot of people like to, well, I'll say this again before I go further. Do people really prefer you to be honest with them? And a lot of times they want to say, well, you're telling me the truth, right? You know, well, I'm just being honest, you know, and we kind of go back and forth between someone being honest versus the truth. And it almost sounds like a contradiction, or maybe like I don't know if it's considered like an oxymoron, but it's one of those type of things that you can ask yourself, and then ask yourself, have you ever been challenged, or have someone ever challenged you or made you feel any kind of way when those type of questions were raised? And I just want to chat just for a couple of minutes, because just in my personal, because a lot of people like to ask, you know, whenever I raise these type of thoughts of just kind of pondering and just kind of think to myself, because I don't think that we do a lot of meditating or self-reflection as human beings as much as we could before we make statements, and before we project thoughts, and before we formulate opinions. Many of us are opinionated, but do we really take a cross-assessment on whatever that scenario is, to really look at all different points of views as much as possible before we make our conclusive statement? You know what I mean? So when I raised the question and asked, do people really want the honesty versus the truth? And first of all, before we go further, do me a favor. If you can share it instantly, I think we can kind of allow other people to kind of hear what we're hearing, and then it would save a lot of, you know, information that can be a blessing to some other people of what we hear that has really been allowing us to have provoking thought. As a person that is a student of philosophy, and I like to be able to study and listen to people's theories and their philosophies of thought, which makes a lot of sense on how people are made up and built up in character, then it allows me to accept them easier. And then I don't have any expectations for me to make any judgment, because I have no judgment on anything. I could probably challenge some things based upon a behavior outcome, but behaviors that are only the product of what's been generated as a thought, and something that people conclude to say, well, this is my theory on it, this is my stance on it, and this is what I'm going to stick to. So when I make statements like, you know, do people want your honesty versus your truth? It's one of those things. You could be honest with someone, but they don't want the truth, though. You know, you can be honest about your confession about it, and that's one of your character traits. Hey, I'm an honest person. In fact, it's been said that honesty is one of the most important character traits that we can really encourage a child to have. You know, hey, be honest. You know, be honest. Did you really, you know, take too many crayons? Did you, are you really hungry? And if they can just produce and be like, well, I'm not going to get in trouble, so as a repercussion or as a reprimand, if I be honest with it, then we'll know that it produces more. But then I don't know how along the way from a child being taught these different character traits that is known to be a honest and a great winner and a great trait to keep, somewhere along the line it has been tainted, whereas now I'm challenged between, do I want to share that honesty because my honesty may do something to you, and then if it does something to you, or I'm relying on your reaction to see, was my honesty respected? Now I don't know if I want to give you my honesty. And then Lord knows, truth, if I give you the truth of the matter because I was trying to be honest, then what kind of person am I labeled to be? You know, so honesty is clearly a character trait. Honesty is definitely something that will allow a person to say, oh, they are a loyal person, they are an honest person, they are a reliable person. These are traits that will usually keep you in something, or keep you at a position, or keep you as being someone who can be trusted. Someone who can be trusted in something like that, because they exercise honesty. But when it comes to truth, truth allows you, on the other hand, it empowers one to have direction and to also have the power to make a choice. And so when the truth is there, it empowers you to become free. When you are free, now you have the power of choice to have a next set of instructions. What I need to do? What's my next set of directions? Where do I need to go? Where do I need to direct myself? Because now that the truth here and it prevails, it allows me to move forward. So a lot of people, they have to eventually kind of go through some stuff that will make them resolve into saying, I need to just walk in my truth so I can have direction. But the reality is, we should want to know, okay, let me keep it honest, or keep it 100, or keep it pure. And that type of character trait will produce me to live in the truth of the matter, if that makes sense. So what happens is, honesty says stuff like this. Well, if they would be honest in the interview, if they would be honest in this relationship, if they would be honest about this particular act of a scenario, or this case study, if they would be honest in what just happened, then maybe I can have a moment to see what is the truth of the matter about all of this. Well, they was honest by saying, well, hey, they did not fill out their tax returns or whatever. So the truth is, I don't have them done. Why? In my honesty, I didn't really feel like doing it. So I'm going to be honest to say, the really honest part is, I'm not in the place to even do anything like that. And the truth is, I did not get it done. But it's interesting how people will love to hear your honesty. They would love to hear you be honest about stuff. Well, they're an honest person, and they would love to embrace what kind of person you are. But when you have to reveal the truth of the matter, that's when they're like, oh, well, I didn't want you to tell me that, because that hurts. Well, it should not hurt if you deal with a person that exercises a regular character trait of being honest. And ladies and gentlemen, it's interesting to hear that you could be an honest person in everything. You could display honesty as being part of your character trait. But if you mess around and say, but the truth of the matter is, I really, really don't like this type of ice cream. Well, why did you make me buy it in the first place? Well, I didn't make you buy it in the first place. I've been honest with you to let you know that I don't really care for milk. It makes me feel some kind of way. Or I'm not really fond of ice cream. But you bought it anyway. So let me just give you the truth. The truth is, I don't want any ice cream. I was being honest with you about what my position is, because that's part of my character trait. So having good character is your position when they meet you. They want to know what kind of person you are. Well, in order for you to know what kind of person is, or know what kind of person that they are in character, you need to hear what kind of position do they stand in. What kind of position do they hold? Do they hold a position of being very, very strict? Do they have a position of being straightforward? Are they very, very direct? Are they very, very reserved? Well, that's part of their character trait. But if you ask them the truth about it, it doesn't necessarily mean because they have that position that that's their truth too. The truth is, they may not want to be a person that's very talkative. But does that make me a person that's anything other than that? No. So we have to respect and accept people for who they are and the character trait that we're getting. And if the character trait, as we're talking about today, as being an honest person, that's honest. If they are even displaying honesty in their communication, whether it's verbally or whether it's nonverbal, then take that honesty for what it is. Hey, they're being honest. The honesty is they really, really don't feel like coming out right now because this is going on during the COVID time. And they really, really don't want to talk about a certain subject matter. And because of that, that produces their truth. Well, they were honest at first. They was honest by saying, hey, I really don't know what you mean by that. And let's just take it for what it is, ladies and gentlemen. And once we have that, we don't really, really need to dissect to say, well, what is the truth? Because some people really don't want to hear what the truth really is because they're not really, really prepared for it. And I noticed this in the last couple of months, even in my personal life. It was okay as long as I was being 100% and genuine and being honest in certain scenarios. But when they began to ask me, well, what is the truth of the matter? And I realized I had to be 100% truthful about it. Hey, I realize that I don't like this, or I prefer this, or this is the way I've always been. And in my honesty, I was conveying those messages. I was conveying that type of information, and you couldn't hear it. And so I realized, as a friend of mine was telling me, actually, it was one of my play sisters. They were like, "Well, in your honest," they was like, "In your honesty, people would love your honesty, bro, but they don't want your truth." And that's a true statement. They don't want to hear how loud they are, how noisy it really is, and how disruptive they are. But they want to be received as being a straight up person. Well, yeah, but what you need to know that even in you being honest about it, it doesn't make you live in full truth that could make you and really set you up for freedom. So you can have the opportunity to have the options to be healed, delivered, set free. You can have the opportunity to make different decisions that would be better for your life, because in your honesty, you may say, hey, I'm honest about this, but what is your real truth? Okay. So you know how people make statements and they say, well, truth is, you can give your side of the story, which you could be an honest person. The other side of the story could be the other person that may be deceptive, or they may not be honest in their approach. But what is the real truth? What is the reality? What is real about this situation that we're sitting in? And when you say that point of view, then they're like, well, I don't want to hear that. That's not the answer that I was looking for. And that's where that statement comes from. When many people say, well, I know that you inquired about this. I know that you was speaking about this. And I know that you was talking about this, but I know that that's not the answer that you were looking for. Well, that's an assumption. Or if you were looking for an answer, and if it didn't satisfy something that agreed with you, then I don't like you no more. Or I'm dissatisfied, or that's not what I was looking for. But you wanted the truth, though. And you was talking to a person that kept it honest. So, ladies and gentlemen, it may not be a popular Thursday thought or a provoking question on today. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for everybody who's tuning in. I don't want to get in trouble with naming names, but I would love for you to subscribe. Many people have not subscribed yet to the YouTube channel, because I upload this and I want people to be able to have another link that they can shoot to people. And so it can bless them on your behalf. It can bless them so I can get the word out to let them know that I just want people to be encouraged towards the end of the week, which is why I call it a Thursday thought, to really know that we deal with these things day to day. And I love to deal with the person when it comes to our self-help, when it comes to our self-care, when it comes from, our self-worth to make sure that it's built, that it's refined, as I am also going through the processes myself. I only shoot those different theories and principles that I think that is very applicable to all of our lives. And then if it works for you, great. If it doesn't work for you, it may work for someone else. So just share it, just share it. But truth, oh my goodness, as much as we say we want it, many people don't want it. They would prefer to hear lies. They would prefer to be continuously deceived. They would prefer to have the fiction versus the nonfiction. They would prefer to have the old stories that make them feel good and make them feel very flattered and deal with the ego, versus, hey, I hate to end your mysterious narrative or your wonderful fantasy, but my truth is that I never really liked you in the first place. Really? Why you didn't keep it honest with me? Well, in my disposition, I was honest. I was very, very reluctant. I was very, very despondent. I was very, very distant. And I was being honest with that. So when I tell you that I'm going to have to get back with you, you were pushing me to pull me forward. And I was not ready to get back with you. So in my regular character, I was telling you, let me get back with you. So, but a lot of people want to take the power away from a person and don't really allow them to go forward on their own. We like to pull people forward and not allow people to have their own thoughts, which when you don't allow people to have their own thoughts and you've been more of a bully, you're pushing them, then it kind of goes to different areas of manipulation, and then now you're projecting things on a person that is not true, and then you don't want to deal with their honesty. So in a way of giving back to yourself, in a way of giving to others, ladies and gentlemen, live in your honesty, live in your truth, and recognize as an honest person with yourself first. You'll be able to embrace being honest and receive honesty from someone else. And then practice and exercise truth. Doesn't matter how much you think the old theory that it hurts. I did another video that was explaining how the truth does not hurt. It's really the things that we've been taught, or the things that we've been holding on to, or the things that we would like to believe is the truth and the whole thing. But the reality is, you know, we have to really, really embrace what really, really works. You know, the truth is, this is what's going to set you free. But it really, really, it don't just set you free, but it sets you up and it will make you free. I love that interpretation better. Ladies and gentlemen, believe in your truth. You know, truth and honesty is respected. You know, many people don't like rejection. Well, you only get rejection if it's something that you don't want to accept. If you don't want to accept that someone may not be forthcoming with you, they don't want to pursue and go forward with you, and you don't have to accept that as being something that you need to reject. Like, well, oh my God, I was rejected because of what I applied for or what I implied to be received by. But it's more so, okay, I see where their honesty is, and they are not really feeling me. You know, they don't receive me as someone that could be taken on their team. You know, maybe I'm not inclusive with that, and I need to be okay with. But there's so many other people that God have on this planet that's waiting for you. They can't wait to meet you. They can't wait to see you. They can't wait to meet the type of person that has that type of qualitative character trait that you bring to the table, as we say, or to bring to that company, or to bring to that family, or to bring to that relationship, or could bring to that child as a parent. That could be a good mentor. That could be a good, an actual good coach. Many things that a person bring as a gift is something that doesn't belong to you. It's something that you need to give. So the singular word for giving is a gift. So bring a gift to someone today. Hey, I love you. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is Dr. Cortez D. Sims. And then I have a Facebook page, which is Dr. Cortez D. Sims. You know, and I would love for you to visit. Share your comments, share your reviews. It would really, really help me. Anything that can give me a good review on Google, that would be great. I just want to be able to build a platform to have a voice so I can share the things that God has been giving me by bought lessons, by things that I've had to study, by things that I've had to study as a case study, and that I can pass along, that I believe our lives can be a blessing to other people. Hey, God bless you. Take care and take charge. Peace.